Hey there, peace, light, and love. My name is Kristen with a D for those that aren't familiar with me, and welcome to One U Apothecary. For those that aren't familiar with the channel, I'm simply going through my journey, and as I journey along, I hit certain points where my spirit is like, okay, you need to go and share that, or whatever the case may be. So here I am, because other than this, I'm not doing much social media, if any at all. Like, you can hit me on Messenger if you're trying to get in touch with me. But if you do a Facebook post or a wall or you can tag me in something, I missed all of that. You better call me. You better messenger me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, Checking in really quickly. This isn't a video to catch you up from the last video to where I am to now. It's so much going on, but that's just a part of the journey. This particular video is kind of me tripping because I just hit like a real aha moment. All right. So going through, I'm going through some challenges right now. Right. I'm facing a few challenges that weren't necessarily challenges like a couple weeks ago. But nonetheless, I'm here, right? I'm feeling the weight and the pressure like it's on. um I physically feel it. I physically feel the weight and the tension on my shoulders and my neck and in other particular parts of my body that are significant to the ascension that I'm going through. um just a few weeks ago, I was told, I knew, I heard very clearly that I was on a shift. Really, I felt it. And not only did I feel it, multiple people within my circle could tell. It's like some thick is coming this way, right? Things are smooth, things are, you know, you coasting, you starting to enjoy and celebrate minor victories, and and then it's like something's up. And the spirit made it very clear to me, something's coming. Attacks are coming. Attacks are coming. Verbatim, those words. Attacks are coming. But with that warning, I was also told that I'm going through a test before my next ascension. I'm ascending, I'm growing, I'm moving forward, I am developing, and every step of the way, the Most High is literally carrying me. Every step of the way, leading me, guiding me, bending me, straining me, whatever. But nonetheless, it has been a steady climb. A steady climb. Pretty quick one, to be honest. But catch up videos later. I'm climbing, I'm progressing, but every level you progress, like right before you progress, you go through a test. Let's review. And you're reviewing whatever is supposed to be on the review. Now, because I'm actually speaking like in more energetic terms, this is happening to me, is manifesting in the physical, but nonetheless, it's a spiritual experience that I'm having here. My spirit is growing, my spirit is ascending, and before that ascension, you go through a test, and it's always darkest right before the sun breaks. So like the last hour and a half I've been out here in the car, and it is like I've literally watched storm clouds come through, pouring down, raining, but I'm watching, like I can see them moving. And not only can I see them moving, I can see the break in the weather. Like regardless of what other clouds are coming around, I see a break coming, right? And I'm watching these clouds, and they're moving, and they're flowing. They're pouring down on me, but nonetheless, I could see that this is temporary. And the only way to get through it is to go through it. The only way to get through it is to go through it. A lot of people wonder what's so significant about the cross. He went through it. And on the other side was ascension and glory. But nonetheless, he had to go through it. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it bothers me that the implication is all you have to do is trust in Jesus and you will be saved. But Jesus came as the example. See, can't nobody go through your stuff but you. You are unique. You are here with a purpose. You have there was a plan written out for you before you even got here. There was a plan for you before you even got here. And it is for you to go through everything you have to go through in order to become who you were destined to become. Because there's only one you. In this whole entire universe, there's significance to you. People might be able to vibe with you energetically and kind of keep up with you energetically, but nobody can bring the tone and the energy and the vibrations that you were intended to bring for whatever season in your life you in. That's for you to decide. But for whatever season in your life, like every single person that's in my life, every single person that is from my past plays a role in my vibration today. But when the weight and the pressure hits and it's on, you better know, you better be able to tell what's you and what's not you. Because in the last few weeks, there's been a lot of doubt. That ain't me. That's not Kristen. I done been through too much and I done seen way too much to be doubting anything that I'm faced with, honestly. But it's been a lot of doubt creeping in for the last couple of weeks. And I'm not just talking about in one particular area of my life. I've seen it trigger off in multiple areas of my life. I'm under attack. This is a test. I have to get through this. I have to break free. I have to go through. Because whereas I can feel this weight on my shoulder, I do know that breaking under the pressure is not an option. I have too much reliance. It's too much at stake. I might bend a little bit. Breaking ain't an option. So for me, where's the doubt coming from? And what is the truth? What is the light to shine on that doubt so that it no longer has power? I think I might have gotten on a tangent, but started off by saying I get frustrated because believers think they don't have to. You have to go through. There's only one you. And your particular vibration is significant and important on a multitude of levels. But nonetheless, you got to go through. And it doesn't matter how heavy it gets. If you're experiencing it, you're equipped with what you need to get through it. You are equipped. If you're going through it, and you did your work beforehand. Because I know within the last month, a lot of lessons have come about. A lot of light bulbs been clicking on. A lot of connections have been made in the last couple of weeks. So now it's time for the test. And I can quite simply revert back to, wait, this is where I've seen this before. This is what I had to do in this situation. How about I go with A? But if the last couple of weeks I have not been recognizing the lessons, I have not been following the guidance of the Spirit, listening to the Word, listening to the Spirit and going where the Spirit leads me to go, if I had not been if I had not done my work, I would be at this point talking about, I don't know, do I use a crystal? Do I use some oil? Do I use the sage? Do I take a detox bath? Do I go on a fast? There's so many different tools that you have been given. But whatever it is that you're going through, you've already been equipped, at least with the opportunity, to pick up the tool for that job, that task, that obstacle, to clear that barrier. So, on one hand, I'm grateful that I'm in a position of, all right, I know what tools to use, and I can reach out and I can use my tools, even though it hurts to bend back and get it out of my pocket. Even though it's so much weight on me, I just feel like if I move at all or shift at all, shit's gonna fall apart. Like, nah, I gotta do what it takes to grab that tool, because I was given that tool for a reason. Period. So, I'm in my tool bag. I'm in my bag. It's really funny. I'm in my bag. And I'm utilizing the lessons and the tools and the experiences and the guidance of the Most High. Like, I'm utilizing all of these tools and moving forward. And for that reason, I know I get through it. Doesn't matter how thick the clouds look right now. I know. Not only do I know that I get through it, I also know that I'm right on the brink of something. So let me get through it. Let me go through it. This does kind of feel like a tangent a little bit. I am most likely not even going to listen to this video again before I post it, because I haven't posted in a while, and I feel like whatever was just said in the last 13 and a half minutes was meant for somebody. Probably not all of it, probably not everybody, but somebody. Because that's just how this thing works. That's just how it's for somebody. So I'm just gonna go with it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for journeying along with me. If you sat here for the last 14 minutes, you are clearly, to a degree, invested now. Not really. But yeah, and you should take what resonated with you and be okay with what doesn't. You know, I think the whole talk about Jesus and his sacrifice, it becomes a little shaky depending on what my relationship with whomever it is I'm talking to is. But the reality of it is, Jesus came as the example. You got to go through it. And he went through it, and he got his reward, is ultimately what that is talking about. We get so caught up on the, oh, he went through it and he didn't deserve it. I guarantee you, no matter how dark you feel, a lot of the stuff or some of the stuff that you are experiencing, you don't necessarily deserve. For some, they do. For others, they don't. There's light and there's darkness around here. That's just, you don't have one without the other. Period. That's what, yeah. And they bring balance in your life. So, not trying to get off on another tangent, but challenges are going to come. And a lot of things you're going to feel like you don't deserve. And a lot of things you rightfully so won't deserve, depending on the situation. I can't speak for everybody. I know that for sure. Point being, regardless of what hand you're dealt, you're equipped with the tools to get through. My dad has always told me, if you know the rules to the game, there's no excuse for losing. And it's funny because I've been living by that more these last few years than anything else. All right. Something ain't working for me. Let me figure out what game I'm in. Because I might be over here playing Uno at a spades table, and might be why I'm getting my tail handed to me right now. Let me figure out what game I'm in. Let me learn the rules to these games real quick. Oh, does this align with who I am? Like I get the handbook. I'm reading the handbook. Okay, cool. Does this align with who I am and who I intend to be? Yes. We might keep that. No? All right. We need to check something. But nonetheless, you need to figure out what game you in. You need to figure out what you need to figure out what the attacks are. Oftentimes, we don't recognize we're under attack until we on our knees and doubled over, or like, baby, your body been under attack for like the last 6 months, when we've been telling you to do this instead of that, when we've been like, the attacks have been coming. Now you're starting to feel the weight, the hit, and the blows of those attacks. And what's up? We've been training for this. It's time for you to fight back, because you have to know who you are. When you know who you are, you know what tools you have in your defense and offense. Anyway, did not mean to start off on another tangent, but there they go. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up before it's just, that's crazy. And I just realized that all of that went back around to the whole Jesus sacrifice thing. Jesus knew who he was. I might do some edits. Jesus knew who he was. And because he knew who he was, he knew how to get through everything he needed to go through, even up into the point of death. And even that didn't stop him from going through and getting through. And now he lives on as our ascended master because he did that thing. Like, this was your teacher. You need to sit down and listen. Get so caught up in, oh, I love you, I praise you, I love you, I praise you. It's like, hold up. I'm still, it's like, it's not over with yet. We still on a battlefield. What are you celebrating for? Yes, you celebrate the victory. Yes, you celebrate. You celebrate. You make it a point in your life to find, because there's so much to celebrate. But don't get it twisted. We are still on a battlefield. So even like, come on now. There's a time to celebrate. There's a time to reflect on everything that has happened for your good and for your purpose. Like, your purpose. The purpose you were intended to live out. Yeah. Anyway. You're significant and you got to get through. And Jesus is an ascended master. worthy, yes. Like omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, yes. Sovereign, yes. Compassionate, yes. Full of grace and mercy and loving kindness, yes. And we do honor and we do worship and we do glorify and lift up and make thy name great. But do not get so spiritually caught up that you are no earthly good, because you're still here in a physical body. Therefore, you still have work to do. You haven't been released to praise with the angels all day and all night. All right? You still waking up and doing whatever it is that you called to do. You're responsible for certain things while you're here on earth. It is not for you to get so caught up in your spirituality that you forget your earthly mission. Balance. Everything has to balance. Logic, emotions, physical health, spiritual, like it all has to balance out. It's intended to. It is designed to. It is designed to. And we see that all throughout creation. Balance, alignment. If something doesn't belong, it gets attacked by the immune system. It's supposed to. Like, you don't, like, no, this is what this is. This is going to be what this is supposed to be. Alignment, balance. And it's your responsibility to maintain that balance. You working in a church so much that you forget to eat, or you sacrificing your own sleep, or your own, like, you can't even, you can't take a break. You can't take a day off to tend to your own physical body and your own needs, and to even rest. Like, you think that's not going to impact your emotions? You think that's not going to impact your mental capacity? You think that's not going to impact your spirit that is growing and is supposed to be growing and connecting and leading you and guiding you on this path that you were intended to be on? It's all supposed to work together. And so again, there was another tangent. Thank you, Jesus, for being our example, being our ascended master, being our savior, because you showed us that it can be done. You showed us that there's nothing greater than the Most High and the Most High's will for our lives. There's nothing greater. There's nothing more important. I love my children, but the 2 hours I've been down here in the car were necessary 2 hours. They're also still taking their naps, because we do 2 hour, 2.5 hour naps. Do you hear me? Yes, we still do. So even that, balance, because there's intention in my being out here. This is my time, because I have to have my time. I love y'all dearly. You can hang on me every other second of the day, because that's what y'all tend to do anyway. All right? But for this time right here, because that's how I take care of my physical body. That's how I take care of my mental body and my emotional body. That's how I hear very clearly from my spiritual body. To be completely honest with you. I just thought of something else to tell y'all, but that's another video for another day. All glory, all praise to the Most High God. Listen, go through it. And if you're paying attention in class, you would have known that there was a test coming. So let me say it like this. When you pay attention in class, you're typically notified when there is a test coming. Sometimes you'll be told what's going to be on the test. Not usually for chapter reviews, though. You just kind of get hit with stuff from that chapter, stuff 2 chapters before, because regardless, you picked it up, you learned it. Let's apply it. Let's see it. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Okay. Let's go. You ready? But I'd advise you to not let up on the training that you've been doing, because that's still making you stronger. I really got to end this video. But there's so much more that I want to share with you. Like, if you pay attention to creation, you pay attention to the cycles, the energetic cycles that are actually in existence around you. You're not the only one here. Gotcha. Yeah, check. And if you pay attention to the cycles and the things that are happening on a universal level, and also on an energetic level, cellular level, I forgot where I was going with that. I totally forgot where I was going with that. It was going to be good, though. But it wasn't going to be important because I would be remembering it. If you look at creation and the cycles that's going on around it, you ever have... Anyway, that was my spirit saying too far. Come back. Come back. Let's get to the point. Are we clear? Are we settled? You all right? We good? Let's try this again. Take two. I don't care how you feel about this. I'm good. Anyway, if you pay attention to the cycles of what's happening around you, everything flows within a cycle. All energy is moving in a cycle, universally and on a cellular energetic level. Everything has a cycle. Everything has a path that is consistent and repetitive, because that creates the vibration. The vibration creates the sound, the image, the light. Vibration is everything. Energy is everything. Yeah. So if we pay attention to what's happening to us, around us, outside of us, then we get to like stop being thrown around by this hamster wheel and find a place to grab hold to and go from there with intention. All right. And so I say that by saying we're now in waning crescent moon. It'll be a new moon in a few days, in 3 days, we'll have a new moon. So we're coming to a part in the moon phases where less of the moon is being illuminated. I think we're probably about 20% illumination right now. So it's getting darker. It's coming up into the new moon. Well, this phase typically indicates releasing and relaxing. Releasing and relaxing. Because you've gone through this entire phase already this month. We're now in the beginning of another month. But you've gone through this phase where you planted seeds, whether you recognize the seeds you put out there or not. You planted some seeds. You did some work and tended to those seeds. You watered it, you fed it, or you did not. Duality, hello. You watered it, you fed it, you ran into a few obstacles with this particular plant that's growing here, but nonetheless, we're getting some action a little bit. Good or bad, positive or negative, that you decide. Take what resonates. But now you're at a point that the full moon brings harvest, like fulfillment, manifestation. Like full moon is full moon is celebration of your fruit. I like to explain it better that way. The full moon is when you actually celebrating the fruit or grieving the lack thereof. It's part of the cycle. You figure out what side of what end, where do you fall? I don't know. You decide. But you're going to celebrate or be grieving something. Typically, in my journey, I have found myself grieving inaction. Myself getting to a point of not having fruit and regretting that I didn't take the steps I needed weeks ago to get to where we are today. Because I knew the full moon was coming. I knew that there was a time for fruit. Like, I knew that season was coming because it comes around every month. So yeah, it's usually regret over inaction. And then I have to get up and move forward and do the next right thing. But nonetheless, full moon, you're either celebrating or grieving. You move into the waning stages of the moon, gibbous and crescent. Yeah. Waning is it's getting darker again. This is a time for you to start reflecting and looking back and like, okay, this worked, this didn't work. This right here, yeah, this is a no. Moving forward in the future, like whatever that needs to look like, this is a time that you do that. You gather all of those facts and you release what doesn't serve you anymore. Okay, so this is a habit I'm not moving into this new moon season with, because I guarantee you, every time you allow that weed to come back and start growing again, it comes back thicker. Alright, you might as well just get rid of the weed and do the work to whatever, so that it doesn't keep on, you get it at the root or whatever you got to do to the ground around it. Fertilize the ground for the new seeds that's going down. I don't know. Figure out where you are in your cycle. I'm just saying. Right now it's time for you to evaluate what works and what doesn't work and to release that. Like, release it. And it's not going to feel good to release because most likely it's something that's familiar to you. And it's hard to believe that it no longer positively serves you. But guess what? If it doesn't positively serve you, then it's negatively serving you. Whether you can see the fruit of that today or not. That's just the fact of life, universe, energy, however you want to put it. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. So, and getting ready to move into the new moon. New moon is planting your seeds, visualizations, dreaming, anticipating, like setting your intentions. Like, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? What is it going to take for us to get there? Okay, now break. And then start going through it and get through it so that you can experience the harvest. All right. Yes, I feel the heaviness. The heaviness that I've been feeling lines exactly up with the moon cycle. Now, she's a woman, she's emotional, because like everybody is like 70+% water. You're impacted by the moon whether you think you are or not. Like, the moon controls the tides. What makes you think it doesn't have an impact on the water within you? Anyway, that's another video for another time. The moon phases. What's going on makes perfect sense. What I'm experiencing right now makes perfect sense. Went through a season, and now it's time for me to figure out, all right, who made the cuts, who didn't, what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to do differently as I move, what new habits do I need to take on to move into this new moon season. But in order to take on these new habits, I'm going to have to shed myself of some of the bad ones. But whether I do the work of shedding the bad habits or not, if I don't do the work of shedding the bad habits, the new moon is coming anyway. And what I'm going to find is that I'm taking some of these bad habits that I should have let go of 6 years ago. I didn't mean, maybe I did mean that. Instead of cutting those at the root, leaving a little bit because there's a little bit of hope, and then finding yourself reproducing the same bullshit that you were hoping to get away from last time, there's a cycle in your life. there was a cycle in my life. I'm in a very interesting phase of that cycle of, in multiple aspects of my life. Very interesting. It's interesting all around, to be honest, but it's interesting because I've been doing the work during the cycles intentionally, more intentionally anyway, and I'm seeing fruit. And as I see fruit, I get excited over fruit and I want to celebrate the fruit that I'm seeing, but then it also makes me want to be protective of my fruit. Hold up, because everything can't go. We finna enter into a new phase. I can either make this fruit, this particular harvest, more abundant next time around because I have done the shedding and the trimming and the pruning that needs to happen. It's a cycle. And for those that didn't know, your gardens, your plants and things, they're on this cycle too. They're organic beings too, and they are also impacted energetically by the energy around it. Yeah. Thank you again for journeying along with me, because that was about to go into another tangent. We can't have that. Not 36 minutes in. We cannot. Anyway, there's a lot going on. Continue to check in with me. I am going to start videos of me breaking down a lot of the content that I'm actually talking about. Talking about moon phases is a lot. Talking about zodiacs is a lot. Talking about chakras is a lot. Talking about healing, whole subject of its own, is a lot. Talking about healing all of those different entities around you, it can be a lot. I'm going to start breaking that down a little bit more intentionally. But again, this video was just like pop up, yo, this is what's going on right now. I'm at a point in my journey where I'm having to go through, and it's heavy, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as easy as some of these other tests I've been dealing with are, or have been, or whatever that was supposed to be. It's not as easy, and I feel the weight of it, but nonetheless, I'm prepared. I'm equipped because I've been doing the work of knowing myself, the work of knowing my creator. All praise to the Most High. That was another tangent. I'm healing. I'm going through this journey, and I'm going to get through it. So until the next time I decide to share a little something that's going on, peace, light, and love. You can always visit the apothecary online. Lots of tools available. Essential oil. I got a lot of eucalyptus going on right here around me right now. Crystals are also available on the website. I have my tools handy. Wait. Oh, I stuck them at my shirt. I was trying to show y'all, but I stuck them. I can show you my rose quartz that my daughter bought me for my birthday. And I can show you my tourmaline that does not leave my neck. And I can actually also show you my green aventurine. Actually, I think I bought this for my baby's birthday, and yeah, it's on me today. And what am I packing? Packing some. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm packing because those are my weapons, and I'm using them to fight the spirits. You hear me? But yeah, on the website, herbs. I like herbs a lot. Herbs, essential oils, tinctures for people that don't like to drink teas or just kind of like to take a shot and get it back, get your nutrients and all that. Yeah, tinctures, all of that. Custom blends. You will also find a few other services that I've recently added and I am excited about. But if you're interested, go and check it out. Hit me up. Again, take what resonates and leave the rest. One of my favorites says, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Boop. She don't do all that, but Yeah, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Peace, light, and love. Until next time.